Dear President, honourable members of the European Parliament. There is no rewriting of history that can ever explain away the invasion of another country today. But some people just don't care. Putin's justification for his war on Ukraine is steeped in lies. Ukrainians are fighting back every second of every day, and we will continue to support them until they win this war. But there is also a war taking place off the battlefield. It is Russia's war of disinformation. Disinformation is a fundamental part of Russian military activities. And this is what we are here to discuss. When Russia illegally annexed Crimean Peninsula, it began with the disinformation campaign based on falsely accusing Ukraine of a different history it never had. I will not repeat these lies here. Anyone can find them online. We are talking about coordinated and state-funded information manipulation campaigns, but not only in the media. Russian authorities are revising history textbooks for Russian pupils and students, bringing the imperial war propaganda to schools and brainwashing children for years now, and it has a clear impact. Again, you can look at the videos online. Russia jails its own historians and destroys organizations that seek truth, like Yuri Dmitriev, for example, whose work identified the victims of Stalin-era repressions in Karelia. We have seen this all before. We have seen it in action in the Soviet Union. Honourable members, we cannot accept the spillover into Europe of Russian disinformation campaigns. It is a weapon to support the kinetic warfare on the ground. We have to fight it. This is a hybrid warfare. The front line of this hybrid warfare runs through our own democracies, universities, parliaments, media, and other institutions. It aims at creating distrust. People don't know what to trust anymore, sparking domestic divisions, influencing democratic decision-making, including the decisions we make at the ballot box. It aims at changing our policies and deterring Europe from supporting Ukraine. Organized disinformation, or sometimes also manipulated information, which is partly true, reaches wide audiences via social media. It sits literally in our pockets, on our phones, in our apps. The best way to counter propaganda and disinformation remains the same. Expose it, provide the facts and the truth, support the free and independent press. Traditional media and journalists play such a crucial role to ensure that propaganda and disinformation don't succeed. Online, the major platforms also have a fundamental role in this regard. The EU has been at the forefront of developing policies and tools to fight against disinformation online. With the Digital Services Act and the Code of Practice on Disinformation, the EU put in place the framework to make sure that digital platforms are doing their job. But we also have to empower users, researchers, and fact-checkers, demonetizing disinformation and ensuring transparency of political advertising. So what is Europe doing against Russia's disinformation aggression? Following Russia's invasion of Crimea in 2014, the EU's work against disinformation began and has only become stronger since then. The E-Stratcom task force was created with a specific mandate from the European Council to counter Russian disinformation campaigns. Thank you for the European Parliament for pushing to set it up. And since then, the EU has done more to fight foreign information manipulation and interference. We have built a rapid alert system to share information, exchange best practices, and coordinate the responses with the EU member states and institutions. Our objective is to collect evidence on all foreign interference activities, act quickly against disinformation campaign, and expose Russia. Beyond our immediate neighbourhood, we have expanded our work in this area to support our European delegations around the world. We are working widely to safeguard civilian and military operations from all foreign information manipulation and interference. We have built a Team Europe approach to tackle Russia's interference attacks against the EU and our partners. We have experts in dedicated task forces now, focusing on other parts of the world, such as EU's southern neighbourhood, the Western Balkans, China, Sub-Saharan Africa, and CSDP missions. To ensure that the information on the incidents and threats that we collect has a benefit for all, we have created a dedicated information sharing and analysis centre. This helps civil society in our member states and beyond to pool their knowledge about root causes, incidents and threats. Honourable members, disinformation is a Russian military tactic and a threat to our security. Going forward, building on the work of the Commission services and the EAS in combating foreign information manipulation, interference and disinformation, we will cooperate better to make sure that we can better prevent, detect and also address domestic threats to democracy, as well as improving situational awareness of disinformation